As I talked about Adesanya in the last video too, he lost the fight, got knocked out fairly easily, I would say. Imavo just saw an opportunity and took it so well actually. He was able to get him out of there without any major damage. Now, Adesanya has a few questions to ask himself. If he wants to keep going, if he wants to stop, or if he just wants to do some fun fights. For Imavov, it's fairly simple. I think he's going to have one more fight and then fight for the belt. In the middle of all that, I think Chimaev might get an opportunity for the belt, and Strickland is already fighting DDP for the belt next this weekend only, which I think is a great fight. Those two are fairly equal when it comes to fighting. DDP is very goofy and unorthodox, but he's got this power and sort of a technique that I think nobody is able to figure out, where he just does things and they work. But I think of the last three opponents of DDP, Strickland gave him his hardest fight. And I think between them, Strickland might win this one. I think he might adjust and he might outclass the DDP this time. I think simply a bit more action from Strickland would be enough to get him the win. A knockout is definitely not in the books. At least I don't think that is going to happen. DDP has the power, but Strickland definitely has the kind of defense that is very hard to penetrate. Then let's come back to the question we were asking already. What is Adesanya going to do? Does he stop? Because there is not much for him to do in the division lane. Does he keep going? Because he might want to fight new up and coming fighters, see where he's at, maybe get a win or two and then retire, maybe do some fun fights and then retire. I am not a psychologist obviously, but from what I've seen from his interviews and the coaches and the last few fights, it doesn't seem like he's in the game anymore. He has kind of lost it. And that is sad, because he is one of the greatest middleweight of all time. He's done some amazing things, led the division, fought near about everybody that was there at the time. Got a win over his arch nemesis. But this is the time, and I don't really want to see Israel Adesanya go down the Tony Ferguson path, where he loses 4, 5, 6 fights maybe, and then he thinks to retire. I think Adesanya is smart enough to realize that it's time to let it go. There is that. There is not much to it, I don't think. The other fights on the card were pretty fun. MVP really just toyed around with Shara Bullet, and Shara just wasn't able to figure out the distance. He would throw a punch and MVP would not be there. MVP was able to land the punches, the jabs, kicks even. Shara was able to land some kicks, MVP's stance allows Shara to land the leg kicks fairly easily. But the rest of it just did not come together for Shara, and I wouldn't say this is a fraud check, as people on the social media are saying. I saw a few posts saying that Shara got fraud check, but let's be honest, MVP is a great striker. From everything we have seen from him, he's been a great striker. He outstruck Holland, outstruck. Well, wow, my English is really getting that bad, huh? But yeah, he was able to outstruck Holland, and then he outstruck Shara Bullet too. Do I think that he can fight someone with a really good wrestling background? No. I think he'll get caught there. Something that happened with him and Ian Gary. Though Ian Gary doesn't have a very good wrestling background, he's able to mix it up. Somebody who can slow down the pace of the fight and take it to the ground is kryptonite for MVP. Other than that, I don't think anybody from 170 or 185 pounds is able to deal with the kind of style that MVP has. He's like Wonder Boy in his prime. And the only people Wonder Boy lost to were, I think, wrestlers, and that says everything. We are not talking the Wonder Boy that lost people in the later parts of his career, but the early ones and the middle ones. A very sad day indeed to see a legend go down like that. But what can be done? MMA is a cruel game. It is a very, very cruel game. People are going to remember the losses you have had in the past few fights. Only it is the down the road, when it's been a few years since you've retired, or been 10 years since you've retired, people will remember how great you were, comparing you to the fighters that are in the game right now. Like Anderson Silva being compared to Israel Adesanya, or GSP being compared to the welterweights that are right now. Surely Bilal Muhammad is not one of them. He's got a style of his own, and surely not comparable to GSP. The only thing comparable between both is that they get the win. I posted the reaction on the YouTube channel as a short, and that was a very shocking ending to the fight. Honestly, I kind of knew that Adesanya might lose the fight, but that was not the way I thought he might. Because it was understandable for him to lose like that against Pereira, because Pereira had the power, and even with Pereira he was able to weather the storm for 4 rounds. Only in the 5th round he got caught, right? And it wasn't like something he got caught clean or something, right? There was onslaught of punches, because of which the ref had to stop the fight. But from then on, except for the one win that he had against Pereira, he is not really able to get it. Like, it seems like there is some kind of mental block that is there, which is stopping him from being able to do the things he might want to do in the ring or octagon. Another thing could be that he's been at the top for so long that everybody has studied him. Which happens when you are the champion, you are not fighting just one guy, you are fighting the entire fucking division. Because everybody wants to be the champion, and they will study you. They are going to study your every single move, tendencies, and what you lack. Your game is exposed to everybody. When you are up and coming fighter, the champion is not going to study you unless you are fighting them. They might watch a fight or two, or they might notice you, but that's about it. very hard to deal with such losses. I think we are seeing the decline of a legend in front of our very own eyes. It would be sad for him to go out like some of the other legends have. BJ Penn, Edgar, Tony Ferguson. Honestly, I don't think anybody wants to see that happen. But let's see what happens. Very excited for the next UFC event. The middleweight belt is on the line, and I think it's going to be a great fight. The rest of the card, I saw the card today actually. I hadn't seen the card yet, and I was a bit disappointed. The card isn't that stacked or anything. There are no big names on the card except for the main event, main and the co-main event. That's about it. But let's see what happens. Let's see how it goes. I do hope the timing is better for the card, because this timing is really great for Indian fans while watching, because you're able to start watching the fight somewhere around 10:30, and then they end by 12, 1 o'clock. It's kind of hard to watch fights when they start at 4:30 in the morning or something like that. And well, don't go by the look. Okay, don't go by the look. I've been sleeping all day after I watched the fights. That's it. Like, subscribe, and share. And I am still figuring things out with this YouTube thing and social media. So let's see how it goes. But I'll try to start posting some reaction videos and other stuff that I had some plans for. I need to get some equipment and stuff, and then I'll start doing it. But this is it. If you like listening to me, which I think is quite boring, to be honest. This is very generic, right? This is very generic, matlab, bro. But there is much more to